Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Fahana Zulaika binti Samsul Kamal, and today I will tell you guys about the storybook I produced entitled The Great Adventures of Amber and Jane. Once upon a time, Amber and Jane lived in a house located in the forest. Amber and Jane are siblings. Amber is a very kind and loving cat, while her sister Jane is a happy and somewhat stubborn cat. One night, Amber and Jane heard a loud thunder. Jane felt curious and asked Amber to come out of the house to see what was really going on outside. Without thinking twice, Jane pulled Amber outside. Not long after, a fairy appeared and saved them from the heavy rain. With the help of the fairy, the rain had stopped. Amber and Jane thanked the fairy for helping them. As a token of appreciation, the fairy offered them 5 wishes. After hearing the offer, Amber wished to go to a world filled with sweets. Jane also agreed to the wish made by Amber, so the fairy granted the wish of both of them. After finishing enjoying the sweets, Jane asked to go to an island that had mermaids and other magical creatures, so their second wish was granted by the fairies. When they were at the beach, Jane wanted to swim in the sea with the mermaids. The fairy said cat can't swim, and Jane asked the fairy to turn her into a mermaid. In fact, the fairy didn't want to grant Jane's wishes because she was worried that Jane would drown. Jane felt very angry with the fairy for not wanting to grant her wishes and asked the fairy why can't a cat swim like a mermaid in an angry tone. Without thinking twice, Jane jumped into the sea without any worries. After that, Jane felt unable to get out of the water. Then she screamed for help, and the fairy heard Jane's voice and helped her who was drowning. Help! After Jane was saved by the fairy, Amber feels grateful that her sister survived drowning in the sea. Amber said to Jane, "Thank goodness you are safe, Jane. Luckily there were fairies who saved you." After the two siblings met again, the fairy appeared again. For their third wish, they asked to go up the rainbow. When they were on the rainbows, they saw Elf and Phoenix. Excitedly, Amber and Jane say hello to the elf and the phoenix. Hello! After they had fun on the rainbow, they wanted the fairy to grant them their fourth wish, which was to go to outer space because they wanted to see different types of planets and meet aliens. Soon, they were in space with the fairy. They were very excited because they could see a various types of planets and stars in reality such as Mars, Earth, and many more. In addition, they also saw a female astronaut waving at them. Amber and Jane see something strange, an alien ship. They asked the fairy for permission to go to Mars to see the aliens up close. So the fairy took them both to Mars to see how the aliens live there. Upon arriving on Mars, Amber and Jane saw various types and forms of aliens. The aliens greet them warmly. The aliens take them to see the area around Mars. After being satisfied with being on Mars, Amber and Jane asked the fairy to grant their last wish, which was to meet a princess named Rapunzel. Then the fairy agreed to grant the wish. After arriving at Rapunzel's tower, Jane asked Rapunzel to let down her hair because they wanted to climb the tower to see what was inside. The fairy also flew into the tower to follow what Amber and Jane wanted to see inside the tower. When they entered the tower, they met a beautiful princess named Rapunzel. Amber, Jane, and the fairy are stunned by Rapunzel's beauty. Suddenly, Rapunzel wanted to ask the fairy for a wish because she has been locked in the tower by her stepmother for 18 years. Can I make a wish? Sure, my dear. Rapunzel wishes to meet a man named Flynn Rider. Flynn is a handsome and kind man who helped her who was injured while he was riding a horse. After that, the fairy also wished to fulfill Rapunzel's wish to meet her first love. Soon, the fairy have prepared a special place for Rapunzel and Flynn to meet. Rapunzel is very surprised because Flynn has been waiting for her there to confess his love for Rapunzel. Rapunzel, will you be my true love forever? Yes, I will. After completing the wish made by Rapunzel, she thanked the fairy for reuniting her with her first love after not seeing him for so long. Rapunzel and Flynn live happily ever after with the help of the fairy who all enter the tower during the day. Thank you for granting my wish, fairy. Goodbye. After enjoying a great adventures, Amber and Jane returned to their home. They felt that this was the most unforgettable memory because they were able to see magical locations and meet unique creatures. The end.